Hello, today we are going to take notes over Chapter 7, Section 5, Scale Drawings. Okay, scale drawing is a proportional two-dimensional drawing of an object. A scale model is a proportional three-dimensional model of an object. Both of these are created to scale. The scale gives the ratio that compares the measurement of the drawing or model with the actual measurements. This one is going to be a little difficult to do from home because in class we are using a ruler, and these notes are printed on hard paper so we can measure distances on these maps. Okay, obviously if you zoom in or out, the distance is going to be different than the measurement when it's printed on a sheet of paper. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Okay, here is an example. 1 inch on a drawing to 10 miles actual. Can also be written over here, 1 inch in a drawing, 10 mile actual. Okay, so 1 inch on a map is actually 10 miles in real actual distance. Okay. Okay, so here's how we're going to do these. It says, what is the actual distance, and it says D, actual distance, between Cadillac and Detroit. Okay. So, step by step, we're going to use a centimeter ruler to find the distance on the map between Cadillac and Detroit. Okay, so again, here's Cadillac, here's Detroit, and in class, we're going to use a ruler to measure that. Okay, so when you measure that on a piece of paper without zooming in or out, okay, the distance between the two is 4.5 centimeters. Okay, so that's step 1, is to measure. Step 2, you're going to use the scale to write and solve a proportion. So here is where we're going to use the scale on the map. Okay, so it's right up here. The scale is 1 centimeter, and we're going to label that with a small d for drawing. Okay, over 1 centimeter on the drawing is 50 miles, and we're going to label that with a little a, meaning actual distance. So the proportion, we're going to set it up on the left is from the map. Okay, 1 centimeter on the drawing is 50 miles in actual distance. Then we're going to set up what we know. In the drawing, it's 4.5 centimeters from Cadillac to Detroit. We're trying to find the actual. Okay, so now we're going to solve this like a proportion using cross products. So 1 times x is 1x, and you're going to do 50 times 4.5. You are allowed to use your calculator. You get 225. Okay, so that'll be your answer. 225 miles is the actual distance. Okay, that is how we're going to solve those. Okay, number 2 says, what is the actual distance between Traverse City and Marquette? So, let's see, Traverse City's here. Marquette is up here. When we measured in class, it was 4 centimeters. Okay. Okay. So on the map, this one doesn't have a space for us, unfortunately. On the map, we're going to use the same scale. 1 centimeter, the drawing is 50 miles in actual distance. From Traverse to Marquette was 4 centimeters in the drawing, and we're trying to find the actual. So make sure drawing goes across from drawing, actual goes across from actual. So then when we do our cross products, we're going to say the distance is 200 miles, and then with a small a, meaning for actual. Okay. Okay, on the third one, it says the liquid outer core of Earth is 2,300 kilometers thick. That is the actual thickness, right? A scale model of the layers of Earth has a scale of 1 inch, is 500 kilometers actual, okay? How thick is the liquid outer core of the model? So we'll always start with the model. 1 inch in the drawing is 500 kilometers actual, okay? Then plug in what we know. The liquid outer core of Earth is 2,300 kilometers actual. We're trying to figure out the model. Okay, so same thing. We're going to do cross products. 500 times x is 500x. 2,300 times 1 is 2,300. And we'll divide by 500 to get that x by itself. 4.6 inches with a small d for the drawing, or in the model, it's 4.6 inches. Okay. This next one, use a centimeter ruler to measure the segment shown below. Find the scale of the drawing. Okay, so this one's a little bit different. When they want you to find the scale, okay, to do this, we're going to put the drawing measurement over the actual measurement. I'm going to highlight that. Put the drawing measurement over the actual measurement and then reduce. So if we did this in class and we measured, it is 5.5 centimeters. It says put the drawing measurement over the actual. Actual is 200 meters, okay? Now to find the scale, we're going to reduce this. Since there is a decimal up here, guys, you cannot simplify, okay? Well, you can, but you're not going to be, you don't want to simplify when there's a decimal in either the numerator or the denominator. So let's make these whole numbers. If I multiply by 2, okay, top and bottom, I can get whole numbers. Okay, so now those numbers make a little bit more sense. We don't have decimals in them. Use the same labels. So 11 centimeters in the drawing or the model is 400 meters actual distance. This would be the new scale. Okay. What kind of things are created to scale? Lots of things use scales. So obviously what we used today was maps and models. Can you think of anything else? Maybe statues, maybe blueprints. If you've built a house recently or moved, your parents may have been looking at blueprints for a house. Okay, anything with that involves scale. Would any model or drawing ever need to be larger than the actual object? So could you think of something that would have to be larger than the actual object? Think of science here, sure. A model of cells, okay, would have to be larger, okay, or a molecule. I can really only think of things in science. An atom or bacteria, okay, all those things are really small, so the model would actually be larger than the actual size, okay. Alrighty, go ahead and check Canvas and see which problems we are completing for practice today.